heart and respiratory. And so let me find a kind of a copy of one exam I gave a few semesters ago over this, heart and respiration. Okay, now the first thing we did, all right, now you'll all know this question like this. The heart is located in a specific area known as the pleural cavity, thoracic cavity, mediastinum or mediastinum, dorsal cavity or diaphragm cavity. Mediastinum, isn't it? And it located in a specific, the key word is specific, kids. The key word is specific. It is in the thoracic cavity, but the specific area is the mediastinum. Some people say, I don't know what the correct pronunciation of that is. I don't know if it's I would say mediastinum, mediastinum. I think it might be mediastinum. All right, now look at this one. All right, do y'all know this one? Coarctation of the aorta means that the aorta bursts, the aorta has a hole in it, the aorta split, the aorta is narrowed. There is no such thing as coarctation of the aorta. What would that be?
Narrowed.
Narrowed. All right, now listen to this one. Okay, now if you missed this one, you weren't in lab. Cardae tendineae are fibrous cords that run from the papillary muscles to the semilunar valves, the pulmonary artery, the atrioventricular valves, the aorta, or the epicardium. That's the atrioventricular. Cardae tendineae, everybody, run from the papillary muscles to the what are the AV valves? What are the, come on y'all, what are the AV valves?
Mitral and bicuspid.
Yeah, good job. Mitral and bicuspid. All right, now look at this one. An operation that attempts to repair an atrial septal defect would be carried out on the foramen ovale, the coronary sinus, the ductus arteriosus, the ductus venosus, or the interventricular septum. That's okay. Listen to this. An operation that attempts to repair an atrial septal defect. What is an atrial septal defect? Where the foramen ovale doesn't close, right? So that would be carried out on the foramen ovale. And so that would be that particular one right there. Okay, now listen to this one. Okay, now if you get this, if you don't get this one now, you're in bad shape. The coronary sinus drains blood from the wall of the heart into the left atrium, the left ventricle, the right coronary artery, the right ventricle, the right atrium. The coronary sinus, all venous blood, everybody, from the body and from the heart ends up in the right atrium. All of it ends up in the right atrium. Okay, now, okay, which one of the following is the first to collect deoxygenated blood? Okay, listen to this. This is where you got to know your circulation of blood through the heart. Which one of the following is the first to collect deoxygenated blood from systemic circulation? Okay, you know that's left atrium, right atrium, pulmonary artery, pulmonary veins, ventricle. Who collects this deoxygenated blood from the systemic circulation? Who collects it? Right atrium. Good job. Y'all got that one. No problem. That's giving you an idea of some of the questions. Giving you a little bit of an idea of some of the questions on this thing. All right, now look at this right here. All right. Now, during contraction of the left ventricle in a normal cardiac cycle, all right, think about during contraction of the left ventricle, aortic pressure drops, the bicuspid valve opens, the tricuspid valve opens, the aortic semilunar valve opens. None of these occur when the left ventricle. All right, now that question right there, that one right there, okay, the aortic semilunar valve. When the ventricle contracts, the aortic semilunar valve goes. The pulmonary does too, but that wasn't one of the questions. All right, one of the answers, I mean. In other words, that was during the contraction of the left ventricle. When the left ventricle contracts, what happens to the aortic semilunar valve? It opens and blood shoots into the aorta. All right, now listen to this one right here. All right, cardiac tamponade. Now you can remember my dad on this one. Cardiac tamponade refers to normal sinus rhythm, a blockage of the coronary artery, tachycardia, bradycardia, compression of the heart. Compression of the heart. Okay, right here. Now make sure you know the wall of the heart. I have a question on this one starting at the outside and going and moving in. Arrange the following. I have terms like pericardial cavity, myocardium, endocardium, visceral pericardium, parietal pericardium. Know the wall. And so that one, and I'm going to give, that one would be, if you started from the outside in, On that one, if you started from the outside in, you would start with the parietal pericardium. You know, and that one, just know the wall. Just be aware of the wall. All right. Look at this one. The visceral pericardium is the same thing as epicardium, mediastinum or mediastinum, endocardium, parietal pericardium, or myocardium. The visceral pericardium is the same thing as the epicardium. Same thing as the epicardium, visceral pericardium. All right, now then, right here, let me mention this to you right quickly. Which one of the following did we stress as being a blood vessel dilator when taken as in the case of angina pectoris or angina pectoris? Norepinephrine, carbon dioxide, digitalis, nitroglycerin, or serotonin? Nitroglycerin is blood vessel dilator. Blood vessel dilator, nitroglycerin. All right. Okay. Be sure you look over briefly, which we'll also do on Monday a little bit in lab. We'll also do an EKG stuff. We look over your EKG stuff. All right. Now then, true or false? Freshly oxygenated blood is first received by the left atrium. Would that be true or false? Freshly oxygenated blood from the lungs is first received by the left atrium. True. Okay, true. All right. Look at your ions. Like for example, an increase or decrease in potassium will cause the heart to speed up. That's